Hi friends, Mrs. Harris here. Today's I Can statement is, I can create a film strip with 4 self-portraits showing my emotions throughout the day. As humans, we experience a wide range of emotions every day, and sometimes these emotions vary from minute to minute. What is an emotion? An emotion is the way your body reacts, like when your heart races because you feel excited. They also include expressive movements, including facial expressions and sounds, for example. When you say, woohoo, because you're excited by something, as well as the behavior like yelling at someone when you are angry. Feelings make us aware of our emotions. They help us to describe and understand the emotions. There are 5 feeling categories: happiness, sadness, fear, anger, and disgust. It's really important to always be open to talk about your feelings. It's a way to learn to control them, and it's a way to understand them. It builds our self-awareness and it builds our self-esteem. So don't be afraid to talk about how you're feeling with someone. We're going to be creating a self-portrait. A self-portrait is a portrait of yourself. We're only going to show ourselves from the shoulders up. Many famous artists created self-portraits to express their feelings. Perhaps their feeling was confusion, sadness, happiness. We're going to create ours, and we're going to show 4 different feelings. We're going to create a self-portrait the old-fashioned way, in a photo booth. Photo booths you would sit in, and there would be a screen in front of you, and it would take your picture. You would make lots of silly faces, and the pictures would come out on a straight piece of paper, all stacked on top of each other. That's what we're going to do. All right, to draw our self-portrait, the first thing we are going to do is we are going to learn how to draw a face. A face sometimes we think is a perfect circle, but it's not. It's really more of an oval shape. More similar to that. The other thing I want you to remember is we are not drawing ourselves to look realistic. We're drawing ourselves more like a cartoon character, but we want to have those realistic qualities. When girls draw hair, they like to draw it like this. I will be here all day. When boys draw hair, they like to do it like this, like it's grass growing on the top of your head. That's not what it looks like. So girls, bring your bangs down, have the hair come off your head, because it does come off your head, and then it might tuck a little bit behind. You guys are going to be okay because your ears are going to be hidden, but the boys' ears are going to show. Boys, your hair will do something similar. It'll come up along it, and wherever your ear falls, and we're going to talk about that in just a second, where your ear will fall, but you're going to also have some bangs, just like the girls will. And I'm going to finish this when we get to the ear. The next thing that we are going to look at is going to be our neck. Remember, if we had a neck like this, if the wind blew, it would break. Your neck is going to taper, just like the way a tree grows. Our shoulders are not this itty bitty, otherwise our head would be too big and we'd fall right over. Your shoulders are going to come out beyond your head, way beyond your head. So again, think about that. Don't forget, it's real easy to put a shirt on yourself real quick. Oops, sorry, I didn't turn my marker. So again, our neck is going to connect to our shoulders, and it's always going to come out beyond our head. So now let's go back up and talk about the placement of things on our face. Our face is symmetrical, so we would divide it down the middle, and we would divide it and divide it again. So our eyes are going to come up here, our nose, and our mouth area. So that means that our ear lives right about here. So when we draw our ear, it's going to be a nice, small ear-looking shape. Not a giant circle with the number 3 inside of it. All right, that's not what it looks like. So be really careful when you're doing that. When you're doing your eyes, now this is where you're gonna have a little bit of freedom. You can make them kind of cartoon-like. I'm okay with that. Or you can make them more realistic looking. The choice is gonna be yours here. Okay, so I'm not gonna tell you yes or no. If you wanna make your nose over here pointy, that's okay, because again, we're making cartoon characters. If you want it to look more realistic, you can bring it down, give yourself a side flare, bring it down, side flare. Don't forget to include your nostrils. All right, next I wanna talk about your mouth. A lot of times I tell you, you can't do a smiley face like that, but this time you can, because we're drawing cartoons. So you could do a face like that, you could do a squiggly face like that. If you wanna do it more realistic, then what you're gonna do is you're gonna take the letter M and you're really gonna squish it. And I'll put this over here. So the letter M and squish it. Some kids say, Mrs. Harris, it looks just like a seagull. I think you're right. I think it does look just like a seagull. So again, you can have a couple of different options. You can do the eyes like this, or you can do them like this. I should give myself a little bit of an eyelid up here. And then your eyebrows, those are going to be very expressive in your drawing. You might put some lines to represent some of the hair on your head, but that's about it. All right, so now let's look at our project. So now that we know how to draw our portrait, we're going to start by drawing the frames. And what I want you to do is just try to make them all the same size. We're not going to measure these. We're going to leave a space, about the size of your thumbnail. And I don't want you to measure them, and I also don't want you to use a ruler. Just eyeball them. This is the way we want to do it. Again, we want it to look more natural. It's a little bit more whimsical when you guys do it. So I should be able to get 4 of them in here. And again, you're going to start with pencil, and then you'll go to black marker. Now let's look at what we're going to do next. And we are going to create little caricatures of ourselves. And you can see what I've done here. I've made myself look unsure, pleased, surprised, calm. So again, I've labeled those just for fun. So this is like what would print out of the photo booth when I was a kid. We had these all over the place. I don't think they have them all over the place anymore. And things that we're gonna do is we're gonna color this whole outer area black because this is the way it would print out. And we're not using a marker, we're using a crayon. And so I want you to just color this a nice solid black. I also want you to label it, what your feeling is. And you can do it just like I did, where I wrote it in pencil. In case you're not sure how to spell it, do your personal best. And then you're gonna go over it, and we are going to add some fun color in here. You're gonna get to either leave yourself black and white and add color back here, leave yourself black and white, maybe add gray here. The choice is yours how you finish this. I don't want it to look like this. I want something fun. I want people to notice this. So I'm gonna go ahead and work on mine for a few minutes, and I'll be right back. All right, so you can see I've colored the background black. That's what we're gonna do with the background area. I've only done half of the picture. I haven't done the whole thing. Remember, we're going to label these, the feeling that we have, and we're gonna be adding a solid color in the background. If you'd wanna do a rainbow color, that might be cool too. But I'm gonna add a color back here that kind of has to do with the feeling. This is unsure, so I'm gonna do a cold blue because I'm unsure. It's kind of like almost being sad. You may have heard that term, are you feeling blue today? That's another way of saying, are you sad? And colors evoke feelings. And so we really wanna try to use those. If we're not sure, go ahead and guess. When you're looking at the color, like some people think the color red is a good color for anger. Maybe you find it relaxing. When you guys are picking your colors, again, try to create that mood. I colored in my hair up there. Maybe I'll color the shirt. Maybe I'll color my face. The choice is gonna be yours, how much you color. But you are gonna color in the background. Whoops, I got the wrong color blue there. You're gonna color in the background, and you're gonna do it really well. See what I did in the hair there? I mixed my colors. I took the yellow and the brown, and I mixed them together. Super important to help your picture. There will be 4 squares. Each square is going to have an emotion. We're creating a photo strip. Don't forget to talk about your feelings. It really helps.